I'm Matthew Forbes, and today we are talking about transcription or recording cold calls. Which one's better? Why? Let's get into it. Okay, so I'm on a discovery call this week, and I'm thinking about this topic, and I actually had one of my potential customers ask, hey, do you guys do transcription? We really want transcription. And the only thing I could think of to ask was, why? Why do you want that? And they said, well, we're going to go and, and review the calls and look at it. And I said, well, don't you want call recording? And they were like, yeah, kind of like, what's the difference? And I'm like, besides the obvious that one of them is recorded, I said, listen, I went to the eclipse. I drove 7 hours in my RV with some of my kids, skipped school, the whole 9 yards, 7 hours in the worst traffic imaginable to get to Vermont to see this thing. Everyone thought I was crazy, right? 7 hours up. It took 4 hours to get back. All that traffic for what, 2 minutes and 12 seconds of totality? And my answer to everybody is the same. What did you think? It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. But when I watched it on TV afterwards, really just looking for the traffic, I noticed that it was very cool on TV and it was amazing, but there was one thing that was missing. All of the emotion of being there. That wasn't there. And it dawned on me that that's like a transcription of a cold call. Right now, we all know that 80, maybe even 90% of a cold call is not what you say, sorry. It's how you say it, right? It's your tonality. It's your belief. Right? It's your conviction. Do you feel it through the cold call? What are we talking about with transcription? We're talking about watching the eclipse on the news. Looks cool. Hey, very cool. Right? I live in Massachusetts. Everyone had like a 91% eclipse, and they went outside and they said, oh, that was cool. And they looked at it on the news and they said, oh, that's cool. And I said, no, you're missing all of it. You're missing all of the emotion of that eclipse. I'm not like this big emotional guy, but like it was awesome. It was worth 12 hours in the chair driving. If you can imagine, if there was one next week, I'd do it again. That's the difference between listening to cold calls and getting the transcription. Now, what are the pros with transcription? It's transcribed. Fantastic, right? You can do it in all 50 states, I believe. I don't know a lot about transcription. I don't really use it, right? I use call recordings, which the downside of call recordings is not legal in all 50 states. So that gets a little muddy, right? You got big time lawyers work at a real big company. They may tell you you're not allowed to do it, right? At the end of the day, call recording is critical, right? This is how you make reps better, right? Sales reps need to do really two things to get good. They need to practice, right? That's the big one. They need to go talk to a lot of people. They need a lot of cold calls to get good. You got to figure it out. And how do you do that? You get game tape. Now, I'm a terrible golfer. I'm like an 18 handicap, right? I don't go to the driving range, hit one golf ball and go home, right? I go to the driving range, I hit a bucket of balls, and then I record my swing. And when I say I do that, I mean I definitely don't do that. I don't care. But if you want to get good at golf, that's what you do. When it comes to cold calling, I definitely do that. I record all the calls I can compliantly, right? Again, there's like 12 states, I think, where you can't do it, right? But I need a lot of calls. I need a lot of game tape. And that game tape can't just be the news article on the eclipse. It can't just be the visual of it. You need the emotion, right? So, if you can do it, I would highly recommend you record the calls. If all you can get away with is transcription, I'll take transcription. I like transcription from the sense of I need to go back and say, like, what did he say? It's easier to find it in words than it is to go listen to the call. But when we're cold calling, what are we talking about, right? You're not talking about 45-minute discovery calls and closing calls. You're talking about a cold call is generally less than 5 minutes, right? So it's not that hard. Look, I hope it helps. At the end of the day, the rent is due. Go make a call.